So let's now look at doing something a little bit better for our profile page, and let's head back to VS Code. And inside our profile page, we're going to have two main parts to this. One's going to be a header and one's going to be our content section. And let's start by creating the header. And I'll create a new file inside here and I'll call it profile header.tsx. And for our profile header, we're going to use a snippet for this entire component, or static content for this component. So we'll need 17s_17.4.1, which is the profile header snippet. And if we just press return on this, I'll just take a look and see what's going on inside here. Like I say, it's a little bit wordy, so hence the reason for the snippet, because certainly the first part is nothing we haven't seen before. It's just a grid column of width of 12, and we've got our item with an item image, some item content, and then we've got another grid column for the right hand side of the header. And this is going to display eventually details about our followers and who we're following. And what we're using here from Semantic UI is a statistic. And it's really just a way of formatting text. It doesn't do anything clever. It's just a different way of formatting the font, and we'll take a look at what this does. Then what we have is a reveal. And inside the reveal, this is just a way of hiding content until you hover over it. And it's got a little bit of animation on so that the reveal, when you hover your mouse over, in this case, a button, it displays the hidden content. So what we've got here is a button to say that, in this case, we're following, just static text at the moment. And then we've got a hidden content, and this contains a button, another button, but this one will be used to either follow or unfollow the user, depending on whether they're already following or unfollowing a user. Or not following a user, I should say. And that's all there is to it. And because this is just static components, that's why we're using this snippet. But let's go and add this to our profile page and then take a look at what it actually looks like. And in our profile page, what we'll do is we'll use a Semantic UI grid. So let's try and import this from Semantic UI. And we'll add a grid column. So we'll say grid.column, and we'll give this a width equal to 16. And inside here we'll just add our profile header. And it doesn't look like VS Code is going to want to let me auto import this. Sometimes you can get away with making a small change to a component and saving it again, and then going back to the other component where you want to import. And sometimes that works, but not this time. So I'm just going to import this manually, which would have taken about half of the time as me trying to import it automatically, in this case. And I'll just bring in the profile header. And I need to call it profile header. Okay, so let's go and see how this looks in our component. And we can see we've got a great big circular image for the user's main photo. We've got the display name, and this is what the statistics does for us. It gives us the text in this kind of font, which is quite useful for followers and following. And then when we hover over the button, we get this reveal. And it's going to reveal, in this case, an unfollow button, because this is just a static text to say that we're currently following. And this functionality we're not going to implement in this section, but it's there for when we need it later on. And what we'll take a look at next is what we're going to do in the lower half of this page, and we'll set up our content for that.